There's my Crusaders, and today we're going to be continuing the weapon review series, the All You Need to Know. Now we're going to be talking about the Cantata 57. Fun fact, do you know that Suros regime weapons are named after music? The cantata means a solo. At least that's to my knowledge. I'm not a music person. I tried to read up on it, and that's all I got. Now, the cantata, just like all other Suros regime weapons, are focused on consistency. So this is an adaptive frame 140 arc hand cannon. Now, I'm not going to cut around the bush. I'm just going to get straight to it. This weapon has a ton of competition. It's not even the only hand cannon that is a Suros 140 arc. There's also the Fight Night Impactor. But this is the only one that you can currently acquire. So, what does that mean? Well, it only competes with itself when it comes to Suros Arc 140s. But when it comes to Arc 140s, it still has to compete with Waking Vigil, Nation of the Beast, Crisis Inverted. So it's not the only one. And it's, in my opinion, not even the best in category because 140s are really good dueling hand cannons. And for me at least, I can never choose between range or stability with this, and I like to lean into what makes these weapons unique, and it just doesn't do it. Though if you do want to lean into a more competitive cantata, we will talk about. So, what are we looking at for stats? Well, we're looking at some pretty middle of the road stats, if I'm being honest. You're looking at a 46 in range, a 51 in stability, a 52 in handling, 45 in reload, 82 in aim assist, 12 for airborne effectiveness, 14 for zoom, a recoil pattern of 85, rounds per minute 140 of course, and a magazine of 11. Now, how does that translate? A moderately stable gun with about a 20 meter range before drop off and a 28.78 meter range before you can't hit anything. Reload speed takes about 2.82 seconds. Not about, exactly 2.82 seconds. And I will say this, if you want to take this weapon into PvP, you need a very specific role or build because this thing is just short of being good in PvP. I would recommend picking up a Waking Vigil, Nation of the Beast, or no, just those two. Never mind, Crisis Inverted sucks in PvP. Before picking up a Cantata, I know a lot of people really like this weapon. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. How do you build for this weapon? Well, here's the thing. It's not craftable, so you gotta hope to RNGesus that you get a good roll. And well, there's a lot of perks here. Not all of them are great. So let's talk about barrels. What barrels are good here? And I would say just about any of them, but I prefer not to go for handling. Now, I actually have a cantata. Mine has full bore, and it has corkscrew rifling. Both perks are really good. Out of the two, I'll be picking full bore. Though, I will say corkscrew rifling is a good choice for a generic stat boost, but you really can't go wrong with any of the barrels except for maybe arrowhead break. That's due to the fact that it doesn't need the plus 15 to recoil because you could just put a counterbalance mod on it. Now, in the second column, it is the double bullet type. And the reason why I say that is because accurized rounds and steady rounds are a thing here. All these are technically magazine perks. Now, I normally go with steady rounds, but I was not able to get one, and I think there's actually a better choice. Of course, you could go with almost anything here, but a magazine increasing perk like appended mag or extended mag are not worth it, especially extended mag. If you have extended mag, any other perk in that column is the better choice. Now, I have Tactical Mag and I have Alloyed Mag on mine. I like Alloyed Mag. It's a great dueling perk, though there is a reason why I am going with Tactical Mag. It does give me an extra bullet, and a 12 shooter feels better than an 11 shooter. Gives me a reload speed bonus and a stability bonus, which is important. Now, before we get into the third and fourth column perks, let's talk about Masterworks. Now, I'm going to rank the Masterworks to most important to least important. You're going to need a stability or range masterwork, though if you get a reload speed, it is not trash, and the handling isn't the worst either. But we do get handling from the Suros synergy perk. So I'm going to say stability is the king in this. With the full bore, you are looking at a 30-meter maximum range, which is very good. So I think going into stability here is the correct choice. And we're going to get into why in a bit. Now let's talk about the third and fourth column perks. You have Eye of the Storm, Hipfire Grip, Rapid Hit, Heating Up, Compulsive Reloader, and Steady Hands. Now here you have some pretty good perks. I would say you have a 50-50 shot of getting a good perk in this column. Eye of the Storm is a really good perk. A plus 30 to handling, a minus 40% to accuracy cone size, and a minus 17 to accuracy cone growth. Hipfire Grip is also a good choice, so it's definitely not going to be the one I'm going to. It makes your hipfire accuracy pretty good. It's sticky. You have a lot more wiggle room with your cone, but I don't think hip firing on this is the choice, especially at 30 meters, which we do be wanting to try to push maximum range on this. Moving on to Rapid Hit. Rapid Hit allows you to gain stability and reload speed on headshots. Now this is important, mostly due to the fact that stability now affects flinch. So in the middle of a duel, landing those headshots will help. And since this is a 3-tap, a plus 14 to stability and a plus 35 to reload is really good. Though in PvE, you can really stretch this out by getting a plus 25 and a plus 60 to reload on a 5-time stack. In PvP, it doesn't happen as much, mostly due to the fact that means you have to get into 2 duels pretty rapidly and land 5 headshots, which if you're a hand cannon pro, I'm pretty sure that you don't need this. So it's one of those things where it's good, but if you are already like cracking craniums, you don't really need it. Though the reload speed bonus is really, really good if you are using this in PvP, because going from one duel to another with a higher reload, which this does push you at a tier 5 to max reload, and at a tier 3 to almost max, it pushes you to a 90. So you are getting a fairly fast reload with this. Moving on to Heating Up. Heating Up, when you get a kill, it essentially becomes a more stable weapon. When comparing it to Rapid Hit, I think Heating Up is the way to go. If you can get it, though I don't have it. This doesn't give you a reload speed buff either, but it gives you a more consistent stability buff, and it is a lot more accurate. Now moving on to Compulsive Reloader. 70% of your magazine, you get a plus 50 to reload. I would never go for this. This would be a dismantle perk. And handling, Steady Hands, we have the get kills, increase handling. It exists. It's okay. I probably would dismantle the gun if I got this. Now, into the fourth column, we have Moving Target, which gives you a plus 3% movement speed while ADSing and a aim assist of 10. Now, this with Hipfire Grip is actually not a terrible option, because this brings you to 92 aim assist, while Hipfire Grip can bring you to 100, so that is pretty good. That's why I didn't say Hipfire Grip is a dismantle perk, but I don't know if I want to be doing that again. Like I said, this thing is really a long range hand cannons in general are long range, and I don't want to be using it in those situations with Hipfire Grip. And then we have Focus Fury. Landing 6 shots, because it's half your magazine, gives you a 20% damage increase for 11 seconds. Now, this is the only damage perk in its type. There are technically 2 others, but this is the only one that's like Rampage, Kill, Clip, Frenzy, those. And it exists on primary weapons. I do like it on hand cannons and scouts the most. I have it. I'm using it in my build, though I much would have preferred something like Kill Clip for the higher damage and for the more consistency. Then we have Opening Shot. Eye of the Storm Opening Shot is always a good combination. A plus 20 to aim assist, which brings you to 100 right out of the gate. A plus 25 to range, which is a stupid increase to range. And It makes it, because the accuracy growth and the growth cone pretty small with this. Now we have Vorpal, which on this you're getting a 20% damage increase to bosses, but if you're using in PvP, it's a 40 to 50% damage increase. Yay, I guess. I'm not gonna go with it. A hand cannon for DPS is not the choice. Time payload, great for all weapons. It splits your damage in half. Half of it's explosive damage, but also slightly increases your damage, so you get like a 12% damage increase. It's constant. You don't gotta do anything with it. It's a good choice. Then we have Rangefinder, which Rangefinder with Eye of the Storm can really push lanes. It gives you a 10% zoom increase, so that gives us a from 14 to a 15.4, which does push that maximum range quite a bit. And then it increases the maximum range even further. Then you also have a 5% projectile speed buff, but I don't really think that really matters. With this perk, you're looking at a 33.62 with the roll that we have, but if you go fully into range, you're looking at something more along the lines of a 34.28, which I don't know if that's what I want, but if that's what you want, if that's the build that you want to go with, it can do this. So we have a full bore, tactical mag, rapid hit, focus fire, hand cannon. Now that we have our stats, let's talk about a build. Let me introduce you guys to the Wendigo, a warlock build. Now, the warlock build can be used in a lot of different ways, but we're going to be using arc. Now, we're going to be abusing our little arc buddy. We're going to have at least 100 resilience and at least 50 recovery. The reason why we're going with these stats specifically has to do with the damage reduction from resilience and the increase to rift cooldown that we get from recovery. So, with at least 100 resilience and 50 recovery, we should be getting our rift fairly quickly, and we also will be able to take a lot of damage. We have a 40% damage reduction from the 100 resilience, but with the stag helmet gives us another bonus of 25%. So, with these two together, while we're in our rift, we have a 55% damage reduction. And if you're wondering why it's not a 65, it has to do with the fact that how damage reduction works in a lot of games, it's not additive. So if you have 40% damage reduction, you take 100 damage, you would be taking 60 damage. And if you have 40% damage reduction and a 25% damage reduction, you will be taking 45 damage, because it's the 40% reduces the 100, and then the 25 reduces the 60 that's left over, which is 15. So if you guys were wondering how damage reduction works, that is how damage reduction works in this game. So we have a 55% damage reduction while in our rift, and if we're running a healing rift, that makes up for not having a max recovery. And the fact that we got a little arc buddy, our arc buddy will be helping us in with damage. And in the Crucible, this helps because we barely can't finish targets. After 3 headshots, a lot of times they have a sliver of health due to the fact that a lot of people are running a lot more resilience. And this arc buddy will help us secure our kills. And now that we have an arc buddy helping us secure our kills, we can get the most out of perks like Focus Fury and Rapid Hit. Again, this is the reason why we're running this. Though, you could also be running an explosive payload for the consistent 13% damage increase, which will also help you finish off those enemies. Now, if you're wondering what perks you want to run with, I would say a grenade or the melee, because you do have a ranged melee, and the Font of Might for the extra 20% damage for PvE. For PvP, anti-flinch mod, targeting mods. That's it. That's all we have for the build. I don't really see a Titan-specific build, and I don't really see a Hunter-specific build at this current moment in time. With that being said, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Bye.